Hey everyone, welcome to Breakout Wednesday for the, 17th of January 2024. It's currently 9:30 a.m. on the West Coast, 12:30 p.m. on the East Coast. First of all, remember this is never financial advice, not a financial advisor. This is simply a video blog on how one trader sees the market, and everyone needs to take responsibility for their own decisions. I'm going to talk about something today that I've been meaning to do for ages that I think is like the most important thing when it comes to trading, one of the most important things when it comes to trading, okay? I'm going to get to that in a sec. I'm going to quickly rattle through some of the stocks I was talking about last week, super fast because I want to get to the important shit, right? BMN, this is just 100% what trading's about. The perfect setup, the hottest sector right now, broke out of a big base, stuffed around, then bang, right? Took half off at my first profit target, I'm letting the other half run, and that is just shit. I just wish stock setups like that came along every day. AGE, talked about this last week. Last week it was still stuffing around on this base, broke out of the base the next day, I think, and then just went nuts with all the other uraniums. Like this is just, go back and listen to last week if you missed it. But classic base, I've taken half off on my first profit target and then the other half run. All right, NXG, the other one I was talking about last week, that it was still in its base. Broke out of the space the day or two later after that talk, gapped up the next day, went nuts. I haven't taken anything off, I'm still holding it. And I just, in my head, I can't fathom a trader not wanting to take this setup. I can't, it just doesn't make any sense to me. If you go back and listen to last week's talk, I went through it. We had blue sky above this breakout. We had tightening. We had one base here that failed and another base that set up. We had the strongest sector out there. We had amazing volume characteristics. There was nothing about that setup that wasn't perfect, other than maybe its gappy nature, but I don't think that's an issue. I just can't fathom, like the writing is on the wall, and if you're a trader that likes high probability setups, this is where it's at, okay? But go back, listen to last week because I went through it in more detail then. Some other stuff, CIA, KE, this is one that's maybe a little disappointing. I thought this was a massive base that would just keep going, it's come back. I've got a stop loss very close, I'm actually still in it. We will see how that unfolds. Maybe it bounces and I never get stopped out. Let's see, okay? NVDA, shit, that's the wrong code. Massive, guys, this is textbook, right? This is like the NXG and BMN, but I haven't trimmed a thing. Take the depth of this pattern, add it to the top. I'm expecting to move at least up to 600 mark, and then I'll trim half. In the old days, like back when I was like in my 20s or whatever, I would have sold this on this day, on the 9th of Jan, and I would have like got up on the desk, started dancing, thinking I'm king shit, and then I would have watched it run up another 30%, and I would have realized, and I did realize countless hundreds of times that I was an idiot and I sold too soon. I think part of the way my account grows quickly these days is that when I get the real setups, okay, like the A+, setups, I just have these days I have the patience to just sit back and what will be. You've got to give it a chance to go up, okay? Some of them are going to come back, like CIA. We're going to come back. Shit happens, right? I don't give a flying, if which ones come back and which ones go. All I have to do is take enough of these setups, and when I have a stock come back, I need to make sure my loss is very, 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 very small. And when I have stocks that don't come back, I need to make sure my win is very, 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 very big, right? Small losses, big wins. That's the license to print money, okay? Let's move on. Microsoft, perfect base here. Broke out of that, I'm still in it. Hopefully I'm gonna ride that for a while. Another one that's come back for me, ETRN, shit happens. This is the perfect setup. I'm gonna take that every day of the week. It's come back, I'm still in it, but I'm gonna get out of that at around break even. And I just wanted to quickly talk about Asia. This is in my self-managed super fund, not my trading account. And look at this on a monthly chart, okay? Just so clean, massive uptrend, huge wick, just rejection to the upside, and then it broke down. How clean is a monthly chart? We had a flush out down to these lows and we base, and my hope and theory was that like the tech stocks have, we were gonna have a flush and a base and a big uptrend. Right now I look at a monthly chart and I see massive, massive support around the 7.27 level, and I see massive resistance here, and I see all these other sectors trending up. I see Asia in the shit. I don't know what's going on in Asia. I'm not smart enough to understand the geopolitical crap, right? But I do know that don't really want to be in Asia if it starts breaking down out of this base. Okay, I would prefer in the self-managed super fund to take my small win, because I've been, my first lot of that was 6.3 or 6.4, I can't remember, and the next lot was 7.3, I think. So I'm still up. I'd prefer to take a small win and move that into something that's going up. All right, so that's what I'm going to do in my self-managed super fund with Asia. Okay, now to get to the real point of the talk, I just want to talk about how vital it is for people to understand what their average win rate is. Okay, so let's say you've done a shitload of trades, you've done 1,000 trades. Have a look at your last 1,000 trades that have been winners. Average that, divide that by, add up all the profits, divide that by 1,000. That gives you your average win rate. Okay, so hypothetically, let's say you have a $100,000 account and you're risking 1% of your account on every trade, so you're risking $1,000 on every trade. I don't think you should really risk more than that, in my opinion. I think $1,000 is good. 1% is good. Let's say hypothetically your average win rate is say $1,500. Okay, you had some wins that are like 10 grand, some wins at $20, some wins at $100, some wins at $400, but your average over all that is $1,500. Okay, now that's cool, but that doesn't mean shit if your average loss is $1,500. Okay, or your average loss is 3 grand. The key to trading is keeping your average loss to at least half of your average win, and then winning at least 50% of the time. Winning around 50% of the time, but you can actually win 35 or 40% of the time and still make a shitload of money. Okay, so I wanted to run through 4 of my last losses, okay, on here, and just go through how I managed them and how I kept the losses ridiculously small. Okay, here's PDD. I took a loss on PDD back here. Massive gap up, Davis box, broke out here. Kind of thought I was going to be in a massive explosive winner, because I got in here, patience had this nice candle here, and I thought it was just going to explode. It didn't. It gapped down the next day. Then this day here, it's just breaking below this little pivot right here, right where my cursor is. So about 145. I think I had to stop below 146. I can't remember, but I got out there for a small loss. See how small that loss is? In here, out there, 0 shits given. Okay. My next loss I wanted to run through was Bank of America. Okay. Massive, nice uptrend, gap up, perfect, tight little VCP base, breakout, looked like it was getting on with it, break down here, out here on a break below this. So it's called a 3-bar reversal. Okay. There's probably more 4-bar reversal, but who gives a shit? Just a break below this day to break out. All right, bang. Small loss, right? In here, out here, tiny loss. Okay. The next loss to talk about, RSG. Okay. Now, I got this line here, but I was actually out of RSG way before that. That was out there. So, shit. All right, RSG. I murdered that bit. I'm just going to scroll out. Had this base, was in the gold sector. I thought the gold sector was looking shit hot. I thought maybe it would just take this high and go for a little trot, and I'd be able to get out and with a win. Came out next day, gap down, and I got out here at open as it broke down below the day of this breakout. Small loss, okay? Once again, 0 shits given. This is where my initial stop loss was, but I often move my stop up. I never move it down, but I often move it up to keep because it's all about keeping my losses small. Once again, that hypothetical account, if you have 100 grand in your account and your average win rate is $1,500, as soon as your loss starts getting above $500, you need to start shitting yourself, okay? Because you want your average loss to be less than half your average win, all right? So if I was winning, if my average win rate is $1,500, if my any loss on any trade was getting to $750, I would be outright cutting that trade. 100% all the time, cutting it. Because I don't care about taking a $750 loss, because I know my average win rate on the long term is $1,500, and therefore, who cares, right? But if that loss blows out to 4 grand, then you suddenly dug yourself into a hole, and you're going to have to fight like hell to get out of it, right? Let's move on. Another loss to talk about was Lian, all right? Okay. Nice gap up, kind of a power play, broke out here. I just woke up this day and like shit, massive wick in, wick out. Drifted up, drifted down. I'll be honest, I can't actually remember where I got out, but it was a small loss, and I got really lucky with this. This should have actually been a pretty big loss. but it never stopped out below this stop loss level, and I got out here somewhere. I think it was like 4.2 something. So, you know, the reason I want to talk about this one is because sometimes you just can't, sometimes you do get a big loss, like if you get wicked out in some stupid biotech stock, and then this could have closed down here that day, all right, and I would have been stopped out when it came down below this candle, and it would have been a pretty big loss. Right? I would have lost 1% of my account, which is my max risk rate on my account, okay? Hypothetically, the 100 account, the hypothetical account I keep talking about, that would have been a $1,000 loss, right? So on that person's account. So anyway, those are 4 losses I wanted to talk about. The clear thing here is that every single loss was tiny, right? So tiny that it's insignificant and that it doesn't worry me at all. It's just a cost of doing business. Now let's look at 4 of my last big wins, okay? BMN are in now, okay? Boom, boom. Look how much bigger that win is than those losses, and I'm letting the other half run. Who the hell knows how high that can go, okay? What was another one? The video I've already talked about, okay? It's turning into a big win. If this keeps going, holy shit, it's going to be this win on this. If it keeps trending up, it's going to be a lot bigger than all those losses combined, okay? One big win can take care of literally 10 small losses, all right? Or 20. Shit, sometimes one big win can take care of like literally 20 small losses, okay? Another one, Mara. Okay, this was in here. I started getting out here. Obviously, went up a lot more. But that is still a massive win. I nearly doubled my money on that, right? Actually, no, I didn't. It was like 50-something percent, like nearly 60%, I think, on that. So that was pretty good. I was pretty happy with that. You know, obviously, that win was a lot bigger than all those small losses that I had combined. Okay, and then just. I bring this up because it was just one of, I think it was probably my best trade of last year. Is the SMR one here, okay? This is where I got out half, blah, 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 all right? You know, that win, literally, my losses, I keep my losses so small that win on that was literally, I forget, I mean, I'd have to go through my Excel, but it was probably, shit, that probably paid for like 30 small losses, seriously, okay? That is what trading's about, okay? And I don't think people talk about this shit enough. Everyone just says, let your winners run and cut your losses short. What the hell does that actually mean? You need to understand. If someone asks you, what's your average win rate, and you don't know, then you're not doing your job. Like, you're not professional, you're an amateur, and you just need to get your shit together, right? Then if someone asks you, what's your average loss, you also just need to tell them within a second. If you don't know these numbers, then I promise you, you're just not good enough at what you're doing. You need to get better at what you're doing. You need to treat this like a serious business that it is. Because if you get your shit together, you can literally print money, okay? All right, now let's just do a quick scan. This is a quick scan, just want to do this base scan. I just wanted to show 2 stocks I'm watching that are not yet ready, but maybe they will be with time. CRN, okay, it's obviously in the steel material sector. Massive resistance here at 1.81, and it's too loose. We had a bit of a distribution day here, but if that can base for like another couple of weeks, then it could get pretty interesting. I just want to see this base just grind out for another 3 or 4 weeks, okay? But that is in my watch list. And one other one that is one of the best movers in the market and just doing obviously amazing things, okay? I posted this one to Twitter the other day. I was talking about this on Breakout Wednesday back here when it was breaking out of this base here at 1.5. For those who remember, then it came out with a surprise earnings update and I beat obviously, and it just went nuts, and it's been trending up ever since. And you know, it's easy to look at that and think, man, it's gone so high, I can't possibly trade it. But that's the characteristics of winning stocks. It's like the same with winning property, isn't it? You know, the best houses and the best suburbs just tend to keep going up. And, you know, GTK, it's obviously they're doing something right, hey. And this has just got a base, massive volume here, really good unbalanced volume, really nice VCP forming. And look, I would love this to base for longer. I know I always say that, but I think that when a trend's so mature like this and been going up for so long, you know, any short-term base is pretty prone to failure, and any loose base is really prone to failure. But if it's a tight base, and it's a really, really tight base, and it's for a duration of 4 weeks or more, then they're not prone to failure. I think they're prone to explosive moves. Okay, that's that. The rest of it, stocks are setting up. Stocks need time to set up, guys. We're having a little retracement on the All Lords chart, and stocks need time to set up. I'm watching on the bigger end of the system. I'm still watching things like ANZ that are just basing there, and pretty, if you look what the All Lords did yesterday and look what an ANZ did, like, it is showing relative strength. Hey. And I know this is a more slow moving stock, and I'm trying to keep my trade into the fast moving beta names, but if this can keep just basing there and not giving a shit about any market down days, then the probability is going to be pretty good on a break. Okay, it's interesting times for ANZ. Okay, look at this resistance. This is huge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attempts at getting above this massive overhead supply, and that's obviously the one thing about that. But but that doesn't mean I'm not going to take it. If the resistance is that good, and I think that it can, overcome all this, then I might take it. But anyway, I didn't really even mean to talk about that. There are a few others I'm watching, but I talked about a lot of them last week, and I've already talked for like 16 minutes, so I'm going to piss off, and I'll catch everyone next week. Bye.